Welcome to the Lucidist podcast, where I explore everything. And today's exploration is so mundane. Everybody's explored it. I've even done it plenty of times. But hey, here I am again, exploring love. So, recently found myself kind of up against a wall. Or I shouldn't say up against because it sounds like the wall's at my back, but really the wall's in front of me. Like I've run into another wall. And I had a thought the other day. I was thinking about my mom, and I have to say, I don't know if I've had a chance to, I've explained this to many people, but I'm not sure if I've fully explained it on the podcast yet. But it's been my mom's passing, and if you want to go back and read what I wrote about her passing, about 10 days before she passed, I had this very fascinating journal writing where I felt like she was talking to me, and she talked about releasing the waters, sending all these healing waters through and sort of flooding and refreshing the system. And I would say 1000% that's what she's done. So many of the issues that I had with her when she was alive, I wouldn't even say she washed them away. I would say she washed away what was keeping me from seeing them clearly. And now that I see them so much more clearly, they just weren't issues. And I kind of scratched my head, also kind of kicked myself for some of the issues I had with her that I misunderstood. And anyway, she's just such an enormous presence in my life, and in the most beautiful ways. She's definitely challenging me as well, which is interesting because I would say my mom really struggled in this area. Was a very difficult person to get along with. She had such a difficult time, creating relationships, friendships, maintaining them. It just was not something that came easily to her. And while this used to come more easily for me, it seems like the older I've gotten, the more I struggle. I can't tell if that's age and you just aren't willing to sort of get along when you don't want to, or I imagine there's also some trauma responses that I'm trying to work out here as well. Anyway, so love. Let's talk about love. I'm not really sure why I brought up my mom, just because her presence is just so big, and I feel like, oh, that was it. That's what I was going to say. The other day I was thinking about her, and I guess what I wanted to say is I think about her in the most beautiful light now. So this is in no way negative, but I was thinking about how she did do an enormous amount of growth and change and transformation over the years. And then it was like she got to a point and she stopped. I want to say maybe in her 60s. And she just never could grow beyond that point. It was like she hit something she couldn't or wouldn't or didn't, I don't know, but she never got beyond it. And I just thought it's kind of sad that she stopped, the last 10, 15, 20 years of her life there, she wasn't able to continue growing. It's like she hit the wall. And then something to me said, well, what about you? Where's your wall? What is it that, have you hit something in your life where you aren't, you don't, you won't, you can't, whatever, however you want to describe it? Is there some place where you have hit the wall and you also aren't moving? And I would say that thing is called love. And love in the form of relating to other people. So this is less about my own personal love with myself, which that is obviously part of it, but a bigger part is the love between others. So I recently had some experiences. I'm not going to get into them because it's too personal. I would have to share too much about other people. But let's just say very close relationships have, some sort of painful experiences recently, frustrating, just very, very, just difficult and painful and very repetitive. That's probably the key thing there. and I'm just done. And I don't have any more to give. I don't have any more to give, which is kind of a scary place to be because whatever's happening isn't working. And so when what I'm doing isn't working, and I've completely run out, and I no longer have anything to give, and I don't care anymore. Like, it's pushed me to a point where I don't care. I literally don't have it in me to care. And this is about people in my life that are very, very close to me. And so that's a pretty big breaking point. I kind of preface that because I'm going to read a journal entry that I wrote. And what I find most interesting in it is that I'm no longer willing to fix myself for other people. I absolutely have done that in the past, where I have been like, I want to do this to make my relationship with this person better. I want to do this because it's going to help this person. Like, so much in the past, a good deal of my motivation was for other people. Other people were my love for them and with them was a huge motivating factor. And I could get myself, quote, to do the hard things because of the love I had for them, because of the care I had for them, the concern I had for them. And so this is very new for me to be in a place where I'm like, that no longer motivates me. And that's scary because I'm like, if that's true, I may have hit a wall that I can't get through, because what's going to motivate me to get through it if not my love and my care, my concern for other people? Okay, so let me read a journal entry. Okay, how to move beyond, get past, live more than the love I've known and experienced. Let's begin by saying that I will and do know love. My system works and will recognize love. I am not broken. If that is true, let's then say that something is blocking, jamming, clogging the system. How to clear this? I am so tired of fixing myself. Fixing so that everything works. For who? When does it work for me? Why doesn't it work for me? Will it ever work for me? What? Anything. Money, success, a partner, friends. It all used to come easy. Now I am morose and despondent, back where I always am. Who am I changing for? I can't change to make anything better for anyone else. And I actually named some names here. I'm not going to say them here. I can't make anything better for other people in my life, nor anyone who has an issue with me. I can't, I won't, I don't care. I cannot fix other people's issues with me, and I don't care to. So what do I fix? If anything, I would fix my ability to enjoy myself and enjoy life, to be open when I want to not shut down or slam closed. Well, why not? Why not shut down or slam close? Because I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be open, loving, generous, kind, grateful. I am so tired of being good. I seriously want to be an ass for a while. Just try out being uncaring, uncareful, unthoughtful, unconcerned. Undo all the undoings. Undo the knots. Undo the pain. Undo the perfection. Undo the guilt. Undo the grief. Undo the past. It's all dead. I've been hoping, hanging on, dreaming of my family as a family. It won't, and then I put in parentheses here, ever, ? Be that. Not in the sense which doesn't mean me and my life don't have value. I want to clarify that because it kind of doesn't make sense when I read it, but I know what I was trying to say. What I'm saying here is it won't ever be that. The dream I've had of family, it will never be that. And I have had so much worth tied up in family that the fact that my family in all of its, in its many forms, that they aren't what I had dreamed of, has left me feeling like I don't have any value. Like, why am I even alive? So it says, and it won't ever be that, which doesn't mean me and my life don't have value somehow to someone. Family, it's not what I thought, not what I dreamed. It's a lost and broken necklace, beads flung far and wide. If only, but there is no part of me that can or wants to go back. I was just hoping the necklace wouldn't break apart when the clasp did, that somehow there were knots to hold us in place. It's funny how some knots are sacred, perfectly twisted and secured into place, and other knots, perhaps also sacred, are needing to be undone, opened, revealed, straightened out. So if I'm going to fix something, undo a knot, it's for me. So what will that knot be? Me, my heart, my sunflower love, for me, because I want to breathe again, remember the warmth of my own sun, and know that my love is true, pure, enough, enjoyable, worthy. Worthy. My love has worth. So when I got done writing that, I stopped there. My love has worth. And I just realized something in me refuses, and I absolutely agree with it. It refuses to fix anything for anyone else. Whatever I'm about to do, I am not doing it to fix any relationship I have. I do not care enough, and it doesn't even matter how this sounds. I do not care enough about everyone else and all the issues they have with themselves and with me to do this for them. Because what I realize, it will not fix it. It will not fix it. I cannot fix other people's issues with me. And whatever I'm about to do feels really big, scary, and hard. And I am going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for me and just me. I'm just doing it for me. And honestly, that's super important because I didn't think I cared enough. I didn't know I cared enough about me to do it for me. I've always needed other people to be sort of the dangling carrot to get me to do things. So it's interesting. I've been afraid. I'm like, I do not care enough about the other people in my life to do this next thing. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. So writing this journal entry was interesting because I realized, I'm willing to do this for me and only me and not for anyone else. So the next thing I did, I can't remember what these things are called. You do it all the time in like creative writing. I have a circle in the middle of the page, and in it says love. And then I have all the lines coming off of it, whatever, I can't remember what it's called. So in the circle is love, and then one of the lines is family, worthy, heart, pain, true. And then off of those lines, there's other things, blah, 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 blah. So I do this, but what I do is I fill it out, and then I also grade. I also put numbers by each one. So like family has a 10 by it. Pain has a 9 by it. Enough has a 10 by it. There's one that says hope. It has a 6 by it. So what I do is I just make this, big diagram with numbers and words. And then I look for everything that's kind of an 8.5 or above. Usually you don't even have to worry about 8.5, so you can just do 9s and 10s. But then what I do is I look at associations then. So like on one side, I had the word family, and way on the other side in a different area, I had put the word home. Family was a 10 and home was a 9. And I realized those two were actually it doesn't matter that they ended up on different sides of this little diagram. They were actually deeply related, that those two, I had a clear sort of quote issue, a shared issue with those two, that a 9 and a 10 on different sides of the page. So then I write that down, family and home. I had another one that was lost and pain. And again, those were in different areas, and they were both 9s. So I, with my colored pencil, I connected those two. So lost and pain is one. I had another one between family and broken, which I want to point this out because I thought this was fascinating after I got done. You'll notice I said family and home and family and broken. I don't have one between home and broken. So there's a strange thing where home is not broken to me, but family is broken and family and home. So there's different relations. So those were all my 9s. There was another one. There's one other one I'm not going to mention because it's personal to someone else. But those were like those 4 caught all my 9s and 10s. And it connected them in an important way, in a way that the initial drawing did not. So then I sat with those, and so let's do what's one I can share that doesn't have anyone else in it. Okay, we're gonna do lost in pain. Those were both 9s on different sides of this little diagram that I had done, but they are deeply connected. And when I wrote those words and an arrow in between them with arrows on both sides going back and forth between lost and pain, I could remember a very specific moment in my life where I was lost and in pain in a sort of referential space to love. And what I'm getting at is, in that exact moment, if I go back to that exact moment, there is a whole lot of energy there that didn't get to be dealt with because of what was going on in life. So I remember doing this the first time I was going to do EMDR about the rape. I remember doing this diagram and making these interesting connections and these words and these numbers and finding like the really huge trigger ones. And then it helped me find a moment in time to start with EMDR. And that's what I'm looking for here. Somehow my love is like it's like so tied up and tied down and concretized. Is that a word? It's like concrete. It's like encased in concrete. Like, I'm going to use it again, concretized, like encased in this concrete block. And it is so blocked, and it all has to do with these things I said: family and home, family and broken, lost and pain, and then one other one. I can tell you one side of the other one, and it's enough, like not being enough in a relationship. So these are, and in each of these, I can think of a moment in time where it's at a 9. My emotional, mental, my triggered state is at a 9 or a 10. Like, I am triggered, and I can still go back in those moments and feel all the energy there. So, love. I just have to say, love is like the most mysterious thing to me. For me, in my life, trying to find the love that I know in my body has just been like impossible. And maybe it's maybe it's just the human condition, but I don't think so, because it seems like people out there can do it. But also just trying to understand other people's needs and what their idea of love is, and me getting it so wrong for them. I don't know. It just seems like in my life, like people have gotten it so wrong for me, and I've gotten it so wrong for so many people. I don't really get it anymore. And I think that's part of why I'm totally stepping away from the very thing I want. I'm totally stepping away from trying to figure out relational love in the sense. Well, no, that's not true. I'm actually stepping into trying to understand what my current experience is of relational love. But the interesting thing is, I'm not doing it for my relations. So once I had written these little, once I finished the diagram, I wrote a little bit more, very short. And I said, I do this for myself, my love, my life. The fix is for me. I am safe with me. I trust me. I care for me. I love me. And then there's a little smiley face. And I have to say, when I wrote those words, I did not know how true they were. I did not know how true they were. I think a lot has happened in, let's say, probably, really, I would say, yeah, since my mom's passing. So like the last 4 months, a lot more has happened than I've been aware of, simply because I've been, addressing other things in my life. So here goes. I'll let you know how my next journey with EMDR goes.